Philip Hammond was Defense Secretary for nearly 3 years, so he knows a thing or two about precision-guided missiles, and this week he took aim at his Brexiteer cabinet colleagues. The Chancellor's public refusal to budget for a no-deal Brexit scenario, his admission that flights could be grounded and his warnings about a bad-tempered Brexit could not have been more carefully aimed to land the headlines he wanted. Hammond's supporters say he is offering home truths. Tory leavers are convinced this triple salvo was a deliberate ploy to discredit Theresa May's mantra that no deal is better than a bad deal. They accuse him of disloyalty beyond any of Boris Johnson's recent interventions. He is on thin ice, says a senior government Brexiteer, bringing up unprompted the idea of flights being suspended, knowing full well it would be newsworthy, was irresponsible to the point of being against the national interest. One sour about Brexit leave Tory MPs spent Wednesday morning texting each other their displeasure using their two favourite Hammond nicknames. Ever since Nick Robinson accidentally mispronounced his spreadsheet Phil Soberke live on air earlier this year, Tory MPs have been calling him Spreadsheet Phil, believing it an apt description of his downbeat Brexit assessments. More recently, backbenchers have taken to calling Hammond PH1, suggesting the Chancellor may be somewhat sour about the referendum result. Hammond's position as chief Brexiteer boogeyman has been cemented to the point that leavers are even starting to see Remain campaigner Amber Rudd in a more positive light. Hammond is far worse than Rudd, says one prominent Brexiteer. Amber is a Remainer but she broadly gets it. Hammond doesn't, says a backbencher. Amber Rudd campaigned for Remain during the EU referendum. Photo Getty. Even some of the Chancellor's allies on the Tory benches are concerned by his approach. One pro-Remain Tory MP expressed fears that if Hammond pushed too hard he could be sacked, leaving Remainers without their main cabinet defender. May wanted to fire Hammond after the election, but the result rendered her too weak to do so. Backbench Brexiteers have been trying to demonstrate that his standing in the party is low enough that she could do it. The row over no-deal preparations has simmered for months but picked up in recent weeks, with Michael Gove, Chris Grayling, Sajid Javid and Jeremy Hunt all imploring cabinet colleagues to do more. Gove and Grayling are among the few making serious contingency plans. A cabinet source at a different department says DEFRA in transport are ahead of the curve on contingency. They are doing well, but then they are the most significantly affected. The end state. The no-deal drama is significant, but it is also something of a proxy war for the principal cabinet Brexit divide, what is known in the jargon as the end state. Johnson, Gove, David Davis, Liam Fox and the European Research Group of 80 Tory Brexiteers have all accepted a 2-year implementation period during which there will be little palpable change, though Gove is fighting to ensure the UK withdraws from the common fisheries policy at the beginning of the transition. A small group of hardcore Brexiteers led by the likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg, Owen Paterson and Peter Bone are grumbling about this 2-year delay, but they are not leading opinion. The vast majority of Tory leavers agree with the pragmatic position summarised by Fox. Having waited for over 40 years to leave the European Union, 24 months would be a rounding error. It's not a huge deal. Michael Gove, on a mission to reform fisheries. Photo PA. What matters to Brexiteers is not the transition but the end state, what Britain's future relationship with the EU looks like after the implementation phase is over. Johnson, Gove and Priti Patel are insistent that the UK must be free to diverge from future EU regulations and judgments without having to seek permission from Europe first. Hammond, Cabinet Secretary Jeremy Haywood, and May's new top EU advisor Ollie Robbins have been pushing for an end state where the UK is required to shadow EU rules in exchange for frictionless access to the single market. There is growing disquiet among leavers about the lack of clarity from Number 10 on what the end state will be. May's Florence speech kicked the issue into the long grass. Brexiteers are spooked that Robbins, now he has the PM's ear, will convince her to back the softer option. Extraordinary we are this far along without an answer. Briefings from Whitehall officials that May is leaning towards Hammond's position have provoked ire. They are demanding a cabinet reckoning to decide which path Brexit Britain will take. A senior leaver says it has been over a year since the referendum. It's extraordinary that we are this far along without an answer. We need to get everyone in a room and hammer it out once and for all. Downing Street has done well to hold the party together since last June, but it has done so in part by dodging the end state question. May knows her premiership hangs on the support of Brexiteer MPs, who threaten letters calling for her resignation if she chooses Hammond's route. As one hardliner says, she hasn't sold out yet. As soon as she does, my letter goes in. The skirmishes between the Chancellor and his Leave cabinet colleagues this week are just a teaser of what is to come. At Wikigedo.